Don't forget, when we have break to sign in. We have 2 sign-in sheets, and you guys get credits. Okay, this is the our last workshop with actually any material that we're going to cover. The one in March is going to be repetition about implementing your search strategy. All right. Good news is I've already had 2 people getting co-ops from our class. That's pretty good. So that's a testament to the work that you're putting in. Did you have a good time at the career fair? Yeah. Did you all get into the career fair? Yeah. Did you practice your elevator pitch with a purpose? Did you do your elevator pitch without a purpose? No, it was always with a purpose? Okay, it's okay if you did it the other way. How was the reactions? Did you get good reactions, bad reactions, or no reactions? Did they seem more engaged? Huh? They laughed it off? Really? Yeah. That's good. They remembered it. That's good. So practice, keep practicing, because it can become more easier to say and cleaner. All right. All right. Today, well, actually, here's a sheet that we keep going over. Does this look familiar to you? Yes? No? Yes. Phew. Okay. You came in the fall, create a resume, a LinkedIn profile, you're researching companies, you're researching jobs, you're beginning to network. Correct? Now we're in the spring. Now you should be applying to jobs. Have you all have access to NU Careers? Yeah. Did you receive my email message? Yeah. Have you looked into NU Careers? Can you start applying to jobs? Okay. So start applying to jobs weekly. Network with new people, companies, and people you may know. And keep applying, right? And keep depending on what you hear from people, tweak your resume and cover letter. How are you? Does that sound fair? In NU Careers, how many jobs you're allowed to apply to at this point in time? 10. Don't apply to CCIS jobs unless you hear from me directly. But they're not going to move forward your application at this point. Okay? Only apply to jobs that you're interested in. Hello? I got you guys trained. Hello? Hello? Only apply for jobs that you're interested in, that you think you're qualified for. If you don't think you're going to like it, don't apply to it. Right. Where else do you apply for jobs besides NU Careers? LinkedIn. What else? Indeed. Glassdoor, Monster. Multiple job boards, right? Turn to PMI.org if you're interested in project management. Do you know anybody here that's on co-op now? You don't know anyone on co-op right now? Oh my God. Do you know anybody that has ever been on co-op from Northeastern? Yes. All right, what can you do? Talk to them. Ask them if they have any connections. Do they like their job? Do they know anybody in that company? Start talking to people. Right? Most people that I advise, more people find jobs on their own than NU Careers. Right? Don't worry about NU Careers as much. You have all the plans put in place to get this going. Now you have this semester, and then you have summer. What happens? What can you do in summer? What are your choices in summer? For school or job? What can you do in summer? Do you need to take a class in the summer? No. Do you need to? No, you don't need to take a class in the summer. All right. If you decide to take a class in the summer, map out your search strategy. Because if you see search strategy C here, if you take 2 classes, another 8 credits in the summer, you just lost a semester looking for a co-op as a graduation, which is fine if you're okay with that. Some people don't even want to go on co-op, which is perfectly fine. But I want you to make sure that you are prepared, that you know what you're doing. If you take 1 class in the summer, and then 2 classes in the fall. Eventually, your last semester here will be only 4 credits. And you're okay from a compliance perspective being a full-time student. You only have 1 class. This is your last semester. Right now, we have students that are in their last search semester. That means next time they take classes, that's it. They'll graduate. The good thing is they have all the way through January through the summer to find a co-op, because they're not required to take a summer class. That makes sense? Yes.
So can we take the co-op on last semester?
You cannot take co-op in your, what do you mean?
Like all semester will be last semester co-op. So can I go on co-op in all semester, or like if I do not find a co-op in summer?
Yes.
I can.
Yes. And then you just have a program extension and you graduate in May.
Okay.
So Laura Adrian, who is in your student services, she's your contact. You will need to do a program extension. You need to do it below. You'll need to do a program extension, and then you could graduate in the spring of next year. But you have till this fall is your last semester. You have all the way to basically the first week of September before classes start to fund. All right. Now.
We can apply in spring semester and take a course at the same time. If I'm looking for a co-op in the spring semester.
Which you are now, right?
So, spring semester, in spring 19.
All right, when are you supposed to graduate? Huh?
Spring 19.
So you're supposed to graduate in spring 19.
Fall 19.
Okay, fall 19, yeah.
So if I take a co-op during the spring semester and take a course at the same time, so I think I should all of this one side.
You cannot have a co-op and your last class at the same time.
Okay.
You need to come back on campus after your co-op to take a class. You may only be 1 class because of your credits, but you have to come back on campus to take a class. It can't be done online. It can't be done at the same time as co-op. It has to be, you need to come back on campus and take an on-campus class for your last semester. Now, as you were saying, Saul was saying that if you have, he's going to graduate in the fall, if he finds a co-op for the fall, he can't take that last class then. He needs to take his last class and graduate in the spring of the following year. Okay? You're going to hear from your friends from other programs. You're going to talk to OGS. You're going to hear lots of different variations of what you can and cannot do. Do not listen to your friends. OGS gives good guidelines, but they do it for the whole university, not just for our engineering program. If you have any questions regarding co-op and the policies, you come see me first about what is allowed and not allowed. All right? OGS says you can go up to 364 days on CPT. Program here allows only up to 8 months. That's the program. You do that coming in. This point, there's no way around that. So come to see if your CCIS does this or another program does that. That's their program. Each college and program has their own rules. You're under our rules. If you decide to go, leave engineering management and go into, like, say, industrial engineering, guess what? Industrial engineering has their own rules. So, for example, I know one student that switched from engineering management over to industrial engineering. The person is not qualified to search for co-ops at this point because of TOEFL scores. We have different regulations, requirements than other programs. Our TOEFL scores are lower than others. Our GPA to go on co-op is lower compared to others. I think industrial engineers are 3.2. We're a 3.0. If you decide to leave engineering management, you go to a different program, just be careful. Do you have a high enough TOEFL score to go on co-op? Do you have a high enough GPA to go on co-op? Just be careful, okay? All right? And if you're going to switch, just let me know, because some people switch, I don't know it, which is fine, but I'd like to know why. Because then I can go back to Professor Cullinane and say, we have a lot of people leaving engineer management, we'd like to know why. And then we can try to change the program based on your recommendations. All right? Any other questions? Yes, no? Yeah, that list going around, is that my interview list? All right, mock interview list that's paper going around. If you want a mock interview, it's not required, but if you want one, please let me know. And we're gonna have mock interviews next Friday. You dress up. You want to mock, this is what you guys requested. You want more mock interviews. Me and my TAs will be giving mock interviews for you. So I want you to dress up, bring your folder in. We're going to do the career development, so they have nice offices there, they have like interview offices, and we're going to go through a whole interview. We're going to do it for a half hour, and we're going to give you feedback right away. All right? And hopefully that will be helpful. And it gets you ready for your interviews when you get your interviews for other companies, you'll be all set. Fair enough, so it's not required. There are 3 times, if you want to do it at 2 o'clock, there are 3 sections at 2 o'clock. Everyone's going to the first column. So you can go to different columns. So we have three TAs. Me and 2 other people are going to be doing mock interviews. All right? All right. So we're okay with this sheet? You know what we're doing? All right. So now we're talking about keeping it co-op. We had last semester, not in our program, but another program within MDET, 3 people get fired from a co-op. 3. I don't ever want to have a conversation with any of my students about why you got fired from a co-op. All right? So we're going to help you, give you some guidelines on how to behave. Did you get fired from your co-op? No. Not that I've never been fired from a job yet either, but I'm still young. There's still time. What happens if you get fired from a job? What happens? Is it the end of the world? Are you going to die?
No.
It's a learning experience. You talk to a lot of actors or actresses, they say, oh, I got fired from a job from waitressing, or you hear some big CEOs, they say, oh, I got fired, I didn't do it. It's a learning experience. Figure out why what happened. And then you learn from it and then move on. So a lot of good people have gotten fired or let go, or fired from a job, and then have gone on to be very, very successful. But always treat it as a learning experience. What happened? Why did that occur? Could you have prevented it? What did you learn from it? Move on. But if you get fired, it's not the end of the world. I really don't want to deal with it, because it's hard to get a job. Because I asked you what happened here. But we're going to try to help you. All right? Just like if you don't get a co-op, it's not the end of the world. All right, at the end of this 6-hour workshop, 6 hours. Is that okay? I want to see. I'm just checking to see how many people are actually paying attention to me. No, it's not a 6-hour workshop. The full day's 4 hours. We might get out early. Who knows? We're talking about ethics, how to handle yourself in the workplace, and workplace diversity. Right? Did you all do my pre-survey questionnaire?
Yes.
Yes, I'll check. Did you all read all the assignments? All right, there's really nothing to write about, you just had to read, right? We saw a video on ethics, which was kind of interesting. Did you watch that video on the TED Talks? It's like a 16-minute video. Did you watch that? Yes? No?
No.
You did not watch the video. Did you read the articles? What is ethics?
Expected behavior.
Expected behavior?
Code of morality.
Code of morality, yeah. What else? Code of ethics, morale, yeah. What else? Anything?
Doing right things when nobody's seeing you.
Oh, that's great. Actually, you guys all experience show some sort of ethics right now. I said, how many of you actually read did the material? Some of you were honest and said, I did not. That's very moral. Is lying ethical? Not right. You did not lie. You were very ethical in that piece. Then my question is, why did you do it? That's a different story. You told me. I asked a question. You told the truth. Why is it important? Why is ethics important? We know what ethics is. Like a moral compass, a moral code is how to behave like I like it when no one else is watching you. But why is it important in your career?
To not get fired.
You won't get fired, yeah. What else? That's the big thing, you don't want to get fired. But what else? If you do something unethical, will you always get fired?
No, you get reprimanded.
No, there are tons of stories out there in the news of people doing something unethical and they're not getting fired. You might get, now you go to jail, you might go, it depends on what it is. Some people get fired, all right? What else? Why is it important to your career?
To have a discipline.
Have what?
Discipline.
Discipline, yeah. If you do something right, does it feel good? Is it stressful?
No.
I'm sure it is stressful. I mean, I can tell you, a lot of this experience where I think the questions came up, and the question is, how do you behave? What do you do? It's very, very stressful. You know, you have talk here about whistleblowers. You know what a whistleblower is?
Yeah.
It's not this person on a train that blows the whistle. Hey, train's coming down. What's a whistleblower?
Leaks the company secrets, the daily secrets.
Well, not if something's going on bad, it's not right. They leak what's going on, right? Not leak, they tell somebody. And that there are rules in place to prevent you from getting fired or being hurt. But it's very stressful. It's very stressful. But you think that person feels good about it afterwards?
Yeah.
Probably, right? Because it was so bad they had to tell someone.
Yeah. People like that.
Will you ever come across something to do something unethical at your work? You're shaking your head now. You don't think you'll ever come across something unethical?
No,
Will you? Huh? I guarantee at some point in your career you're going to come across an ethical question on how you're going to behave. And it's up to you to determine how you respond. Now that video, which no one watched, very few people, they talked about a little bit about Enron. Enron was a big case where people lied the whole time. How did that happen? How did all these people get involved and still allow this to happen? And one of the things is this company culture. The higher up said, this is okay. We want you all to do that. It's still wrong what they did. They lied. They basically lied to shareholders and the people investing and lost their whole pensions. Some people came forward and they did the right thing. You're going to come across times when you have across ethical issues. All right? Did you ever come across some ethical issues at your own work? Has anyone come across any other ethical issues in their work? Anything? Well, schooling. Were you ever asked, hey, can you give me the answer to this question on this exam?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened? All right, in the United States, that's called, for us, we call that, different cultures have different things, right? In the United States, that's cheating, you can get in trouble. Plagiarism, talk about plagiarizing here. In the United States, you can get kicked out of school, you cannot you be on academic probation, and not go on co-op. So there's a lot of, those are some things, we talked to my kids last night about that. At my last job, supposedly my manager was being investigated by the FBI. Supposedly. I don't know that for true, those are the rumors. What this person did was person faked numbers, lied on the numbers. FBI is involved because it crossed state lines. This was a company here in Massachusetts, but the headquarters was over in another state. The information went to the headquarters of the other state. Person was fixing the numbers. And he, questioned, someone raised the issue, and supposedly the person was being investigated. Not sure what happened or how true that is, but that's the rumors. And I saw it. Person signs in. Did you come to class? Can you sign in for me? Is that ethical? You didn't go to class. Is that ethical? No, because you might miss something that's where we read a case study that's going to come back and say this person did something, said he signed in, but they really didn't attend the session. All right. OGS has something, well, I'll show you later on. OGS has information on CPT, which you should all go to. We haven't done some already. It's your responsibility to know what your rules and the rights are, what the regulations are for CPT. OGS has a session for you to attend. Be very popular, but say you go in and you sign for somebody else to go. And that person does something illegal, does something that's not right. We had a person last semester work on at their co-op and was not authorized to work. The person attended the class where OGS when came to it. So the person was aware of it. Maybe she had somebody sign in for her. Now the person said, well, I didn't know about these rules. Well, it says here that you went to this OGS site, that the OGS meeting. Oh no, I had a friend sign in for me. That's not an excuse. It's a very poor excuse, and it can get not only you in trouble, but the person that signed in for you in trouble as well. All right. What's going on in Hollywood right now?
Sexual acts.
You see something, you say that the T says, you see something, you say something, right? If you see something like that, you're supposed to report it. At my other job, I had a person came to me. I found out from another coworker that another fellow coworker came to him and said that something along those lines happened. Now, what could I have done? Nothing. Right now, it's not a big deal. But I had to report it. And then the higher management, and the legal, they're the ones that would handle it. But ethically, I had to say something. Even if the person, even if the person's making it up or not making it, you still have to report it, right? Ethics, everything. To get you fired if you don't do it. And if you do it, like I felt good, I know the person was nervous, but it was the right thing to do. And in the end, it worked out okay. All right? So I am going to stop talking now and give you some ethic cases to go over. I expected a bigger group today. So we're going to go over a couple of case studies, all right? Groups of 5, and talk about that, and we'll come back and discuss it. Do you want me to put you in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? All right, there's 3 groups. Get into your groups. There should be 3 groups, all right? guys got any groups, or do I need to put you into groups? Get into, do I need, we have like 5 people here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You group, and then you guys down, shift, down there. And you're one group, another group. I gave you 3 ethics cases. You all have different ones. Read through them, figure out what you would do or what the issues are. I'm going to put up on the board the Code of Ethics for Engineers. Did you see the Code of Ethics for Engineers? When you become an engineer, you have to do you'll get a ring supposedly, you have to do a code of, you'll take a sworn statement, take a pledge, and you'll have a Code of Ethics you have to abide by. So I'll put that up and try to relate these to the Code of Ethics. Is 20 minutes enough time to go over those? 20 minutes? can't get out the building. It's very
Yeah, just like
Oh, yeah, you sent me an asset, right? Right, do you have that, do you have it authorized? No, I don't think they Gold, did Gold do something? The Volkswagen? Volkswagen, right? They changed the safety emissions.
Will they want to do it through, they will never want to change that.
So that's California, right? I mean, interviews.
One on which and one on
Alright. When it started.
I applied for the start date. I have given as a civil engineer. So it's
Okay.
still executed.
I sent you the link right about it. So once you got there, you can see Professor Colony. It's like what you could see.
Because the invitation, since my name starts with 10, so I just do my own. So I didn't know if it is
They are in some
I think just like,
I think it's fine.
OGS has a.
I really appreciate your support. Thanks for the privilege to have taken my interview on Sunday. So very honest. That will yeah, on Sunday.
Did it help? Was it helpful? For you?
Yeah.
Really?
I think
Something
so.
right. See this? See, I actually did something right. But how was I helpful?
In the first year, HR. That time I asked you that what are the logical questions I should ask after the meeting. So I really understand. I'm asking about the well, we were known that he has come. So that being said, that at what we are doing, we didn't want to have a HR
So you're all set. You doing your thing? Yeah. Are you done? Huh? There are 3 cases. You did all 3? Alright, go back. Need her to break. How's it going? We all ethical, serious ethics now? Like one of the 5, 6 people, 3 Conservation Foundation. That's good. All right, how are we doing with that? That's good? Yeah. Any hard? Have you written anything? Do you want to know the
Now we
answers?
have come to the conclusion that it is ethical. The case
It
is,
is or it's not ethical?
it is not ethical, but
That's good. That's the idea.
it won't go anywhere. The first company hasn't signed any. There is no legal. This is like there has to we used to come to the branded into the large farm. We developed software company. Though he has done the wrong thing, it is not ethical. But the first company. The small computer firm never asked them to sign.
Where is it?
The small firm never asked them to sign. Becomes the proper computer. Yeah. So the new employer has told it so they will anyway use it. They will still be very good.
So what happened?
Yeah. It's a big loss to them. So competition. forms to the large firms.
Right.
I was an
So,
OEM.
so what happens, what's the problem with Walmart? So what, if you look at Walmart, why do you care about Walmart? What do they complain about Walmart?
The one thing which I know is they do wrong marketing. They say that
No.
there are cheaper.
It's so huge that they hurt the you can't have small businesses. Because the economy is still so huge that Walmart is so huge that we're not kept small business.
Say that.
I'm not sure if that goes to court. You might lose. A company might lose. They're property.
Yeah, but how do that?
Well, yeah, that one person, I want to go. If that other company, small company might sue their rep, so this person left to call a date. I love Johnny Hancock, whoever it is. I never signed a confidentiality. What prevents me from taking their names for people calling on them and say, hey, why don't you switch your Johnny Hancock? You know, I think that, you know, maybe the legally look at this and look at that. Why do laws have rules? What are the rules and regulations? Huh? No?
Why does the laws and everything comes into picture? Why it is need to make it?
So let me ask you a question. Home Depot, you know Home Depot? A long time ago, John Close worked for Home Depot around Christmas time. They had a no questions asked return policy. You buy a product, within 30 days, you can return it, no questions asked, and we'll get the money back. Guess what they sold around Christmas time? Live Christmas trees. What do you think people did? They bought the Christmas tree, put it up, and they went back and returned it. Home Depot had to give the money back. Is that ethical?
Yeah.
It is ethical? What is the purpose of a return policy? So now what do you think happens? No. Hold on. They ruin the spirit of the law. The idea is not, hey, let me check, I want to get something for free. Right? Now what happens? Now they have to change their rules. Because the idea is, maybe they have to change the rules and, no, you'll see things. It doesn't apply to live, to plants for Christmas trees. Now you're going, why did you put that in there? Someone put that in there and they lost money. Look at your cup for McDonald's. You go to McDonald's, you have a hot coffee, caution, water's hot.
Yeah.
Hello, it's hot coffee, of course it's hot.
It's not.
However, why do they have to put that in there? Why do they have to put that disclosure on? No, because someone sued them. Someone sued a lady, drank coffee, she spilled water on her lap in her car. She had it between her legs, wherever she hit something, spilled it, and she got burned. She sued McDonald's because the water was hot for her coffee. She didn't know how hot it was. That goes against a common sense person knows the water is hot. You put these rules and regulations in because you have people in here saying, they did something that goes against the moral code. They know that's wrong. They know that wasn't the intent of the law. And that's why you have all these rules and regulations here that people like that all the time. So that company might lose in court. You may not even have the time to do that. But now you have to put different rules and regulations in. Protect small companies like
Again,
that.
it's kind of learning experience.
Huh?
It's kind of learning experience for them.
It's a very painful one, and now you have to put rules and regulations. But that's why people complain. And guess what happens now? The cost has increased. Because of the person returning a Christmas tree, Home Depot's gonna have to change the rules and regulations because there's one person or people returning things that go against the intent of the law, of the policy. You think about the United States, we have all these codes and policies. There's a reason for it. Because something happened that they said, okay, we have to fix this. But it's an interesting case then. But you're probably right in probably, I don't know, I mean, movies and songs, you know, they have, you know, people get sued all the time. Hey, you copied my song or I play. It's not copyrighted. They may lose that case. Those are hard cases. Do you guys need more time to look at those cases? Yes? No? You're good? All right. All right, were these cases difficult, easy to look at? Very easy? In what way? You knew they were wrong?
I mean, like, it was easy for us to find what's the legally right and what's
All right, so you know it's wrong, right? From
We
these
know that
cases.
it's right.
Huh?
We know that it's right.
Some of them were right?
Yeah, some of them are right,
Like what? Which one? Which one are you looking at? What you think?
gift from the supplier.
Gift from the supplier. What do you think? Is that true? Is that legal, ethical, or not ethical?
See, it's like ethical.
Huh?
It's ethical.
Ethical? Why? Why is it ethical? The person, in this case, the person was going to the company, the uncle said, hey, I want to give you some, you got a good job, I want to give you some, reservation, and I'll pay for your dinner or tip.
Like, he just wants to, Scott. The Scott just wants to have a dinner with like his parents, and it's like Larry, who's a self-representative, and self-representative from the company, like, so he gets the reservation in like this.
Scott's uncle is a vendor, right? So what do you do? What should happen? What should Scott do?
Not accept
Not accept?
Not accept.
What do you think he should? You say he should accept? Because it's his uncle?
Yeah, like they are friends.
I think you should pay the bill.
I'm sorry, let me take a step back. Wynn Casinos, have you heard about Wynn? Wynn, W-I-N-N, making a big casino? If I'm friends with them, should I give them a contract to build a casino? Because I'm friends with them? No, I'm just asking, should I? This is, government is so corrupt. I'm gonna give this to you because I know you. Now look what happened to Wynn. What happened? Did they do their due diligence? The town? Now, first of all, the guy Wynn lied. Has he ever been paid off? Or the answer is yes, he hid it. He lied, all right? Now he lost his job as CEO, all right? He gave him what's called a kickback. Well, what happened in Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico had that big hurricane, or the hurricane. They gave this, I'm not sure how, they needed so many meals to give to the people of Puerto Rico. This one company, a contract with the federal government, won this case to give them like a million meals. They gave them 50,000 for 5, and they did the due diligence. The person was no longer eligible to do. Well, there's a one person shop, there's no way they could do a million jobs. And they were offering federal contractors. Something happened. I bet you there's a kickback. I bet you they know somebody knew somebody and said, I'll give you this thing, don't mess up. Well, they messed up. But to answer your question, gifts from a supplier, I don't know if that's allowed or not. all right? What should be done is, hey, you go to your legal, you go to your boss. Something, hey boss, Mr. Manager, my uncle is a vendor here, you know, he's gonna take me out to dinner, because I'm an employee, you know, family, but this came out that accepting gifts from vendors is prohibited. What should I do? Now, many times, it's just write it down. So-and-so is the uncle of, is a nephew of this person, is a vendor, we approved him going to, it's not an issue. Other times they may say no, but he has to ask first. He needs approval. Get approval, all right? If you're in sales, big things in sales, all right? You might have a great sales year, you might have a vendor, and they say, you know what, we're gonna use tickets for the Red Sox, all right? If you're a licensed professional and under the stock market, been around, you can't accept gifts, I think, more than $50 from a person. All right? $50 is not getting too much. Now, the $50, Red Sox tickets are a lot more than $50. And sometimes they don't only look at the face value, but they also look at the secondary market. So the tickets normally might cost $25 each, which makes a $50 threshold. But maybe the Red Sox are playing the Yankees, and you go to a StubHub, and you're paying $100 a ticket. All right? Now he can't go. It exceeds the limit. You have to be careful when accepting gifts. You have to understand what the company's guidelines are, and you have to make sure you follow it. So in this case, we don't know. My guess is it's okay, but he needs to go through the motion saying, I see this thing, he's my uncle, he's gonna pay for it, are we okay? Can I go? And they'll make a decision, but like the legal team and the manager will make a decision. So that's not a cut and dry case. All right, what else do we have? What about number one was the sexual harassment training? Do we all know? In this case, later on, to say one person did something, the person that didn't go to training did something that was deemed like sexually inappropriate. So they looked at that and said, if you did this training, the guy's not, oh, I didn't know. Well, if you did the training, you would have found out you couldn't do that. And the person said, well, I signed in. Someone signed it in. Now they're both fired because they both did things unethical. The person lied about going to training, somebody else signed in for it. We were talking about the case over here about, well, what case study is it? What number was it?
3.
Case study 3 talks about a person.
So it's 2.
Case study 2 talks about a person going for a small company, doing some programming, and then leaves.
That is three.
Number 3, case study 3, a person's going to a small company, did some programming, left to a larger company. He was under pressure to do something. He said, you know what, I'm going to use the same work I did for another company and put it through. And one of his friends said, well, you can't do that. Isn't that illegal? And the person at a small company, they didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement. They didn't sign any agreements. But the big company, they did. Is it ethical what the person did? Could he have taken the small information he got from the other company and given it and used it for the big company to help them out? Is that ethically right? No. Legally, we were debating, right? I'm not sure legally, it depends on what it is, because sometimes they might say, well, you took company information, intellectual property, right? You can't steal, right? Stealing we know is illegal, right? When we think of stealing, we think of a physical item, right? A computer. But what about intellectual property? That's intellectual property. Is it stealing? I'm sure the courts will get it. My guess is small company will probably lose out because going to courts would be so expensive and everything. They won't. Changing source code. For all you data analysts out there, this is the big deal, right? Don't go there and change code to make it look good. Is that right? Who does it affect? You didn't hurt anybody, did you? You're just changing code, making sure the numbers look a little bit better. Make sure you hit the markings. Is that correct? Who does it hurt? You don't have no idea who it hurts? Huh? It hurt the customers later on, right? You don't know, emissions control. Volkswagen had emissions controls. They lied on reported emissions controls. Now, Volkswagen got big money, right? Maybe it got the government because they had low emissions. That money could have gone to someplace else. They lied. Volkswagen got hurt quite a bit from faking numbers. All right? What was the case we were just talking about? Let me ask you this question. I used to work at Johnny Hancock, customer service representative. What happened to the stock market this past week? Right. Really downhill direction, right? When I was on the mutual fund call center, 4 o'clock, the way mutual funds work is when you make trades during the day, it happens at the close of business. So you figure out what the price is at the close of business, and that's how you determine what the cost per share is. Some people would call in at, say, 3:58 p.m., 3:59 p.m., and start talking to somebody like myself on the phone. And just keep us online until after the market closed. Figured out what the market happened, and then made the trades. And we were required at that point to honor that trade as it happened during that business cycle. So who did it affect? The person probably made money because he got out of the stocks or bought some mutual funds that made him money. Who did it affect this mutual fund? Who does it affect? All he did was wait to figure out what the market is. He was still kind of in time. Ethically, was that right? Waiting until after the market closed to make the decision, even though you're not supposed to, is that right? So who does it affect? Well, it affects the person that made a trade, right? In a positive way, hopefully. Does it affect anybody negatively? Not really? If you look at reports right now, day traders are the reason why something can predict because of the volatility of the market. If you're creating big trades at the way to the end to make big trades, the portfolio managers now have to run around and try to make big trades, which is going to affect the mutual fund at some point. So it may benefit the person making the trade. It may disadvantage everybody else in that mutual fund. And it may affect the cost because it costs money to trade. Expenses go up, volatility in the market. So a harmless little thing has ripple effects and have big changes. And because of people like that, guess what John Hancock did? Policies were put in place to say you can't do that anymore. We noticed you did this 3 times, we're going to block your account. Because that's not right. You're affecting it. You're having an impact on our bottom line and for everybody else involved. And so because they had played with the ethics, the moral code, had all the policies were put in place. Usually when you look at disclosure agreements, disclosures, there's a reason why they have that in there. They probably got sued. Or somebody in the unit, or the industry did, and to put that in there. All right? So it looked easy on how to answer the questions. I challenge you to do the right thing when it happens to you. What are you going to do when your boss comes up to you or your coworker says, "Can you do something that's unethical?" How are you going to behave? How are you going to react? Hopefully you do it ethically and morally. You do the right thing. It might be painful at the beginning, but in the end, it's worthwhile. You'll feel better about yourself. The company will feel better. It's better to do things ethically and morally correct. The challenge is when it comes to you, what do you do with it? I had a project where a company came to do a project, and technically, according to CP, OGS, you guys, because you're F1 students, can't even volunteer and get a T-shirt. You need to inform that to OGS because you're getting some sort of compensation. They want to know what compensation you're getting, whether it be a meal or a T-shirt, whatever it is, if you go by the letter of the law. So we're on a project. This person came in as a bakery, came in with some products or take some pictures, and said that you can't keep it because that looks like compensation. Now, if they did it, who's going to catch them, right? But ethically, say someone saw that and it goes to OGS or the federal government, if you do something wrong, you know, I don't want anything to happen to you, your students being deported or losing your status or things like that. So ethically, even though it's like painful, it will never catch us. Ethically, it was the right thing not to have mean anything because it goes against what you're required. Okay? So your comment, Saurabh, about doing something when no one else is looking, that's what we did. And it felt right. All right, 10-minute break, and what we'll do is the last part, two things will merge together, and we'll get out early. All right? Because we're going to cover it. It's a small group. We're going to cover everything pretty early. All right? Prepared? Okay, come back in 10 minutes. The Dow Jones down 330. Darsh. Darsh.
That's the problem here.
So what kind of code? No, I think they already get numbers. I'm just trying to expand a little bit more details. That's what you gotta be careful if you get too detailed here, you limit the You want to see me? Oh, these stairs are killing me. That looks terrible. Which way did you lean? What? Which way did you lean? Which way? You just came down from a lean. Yeah. Which way did you lean? Left or right?
It's a joke.
When you came in here, you look like you're staying up straight. So when you lean one way and get a shower, what do you do?
So, what is the correct answer?
There isn't.
Because I think the guy is a joke.
What does lean mean?
What?
Lean results?
Look.
Lens, that's an interesting. Lens having better training. Why do you have one? Make that look up. It's not that good. Not bad. I like this having worked on things. you did. Is it Northeastern or separate? Here, looking out. It looks good. You're leaving? Did I bore her? Did I bore you? No? All right. Thanks for coming. See, I embarrassed her. I apologize. All right, where's my sheet? Regarding, you guys sign in? No? Yes? Where's my sheet of paper for mock interviews? Where is that? All right. So here is the code of ethics for engineers, National Society of Professional Engineers. Hopefully you're all part of that. You have to go along with these code of ethics. I'm changing things around. We're going to combine workplace behavior and workplace diversity together and do one last group project, and then we'll be around to help answer any questions. All right? Ready, Shinoki? All right. What is workplace behavior? Well, you guys are quiet for me today. What's workplace behavior? How to behave in your workplace, right? Is it good or bad behavior? What kind of?
Good. Professional.
Professional behavior. What happens if you behave poorly in the workplace? What are the repercussions? Suspension. What's the worst thing that could happen? You get fired, right? You can get fired. So it's important because why else is workplace behavior important? It's the way you behave. You can get fired if you don't. But what else? Why else is it important to your career? What did you say? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You will also get promotions because of behavior.
Workplace, yep, you can get promoted for behavior. Yep. Pay raises. What else? What else can happen? That's great. People can perceive you differently, right? You know, I got promoted to become a director at John Hancock. My manager goes, wait, you do good work, but you come across as unsure, not confident. So I went to management training classes. I took Toastmasters to help improve that. And it wasn't a workplace behavior problem, but I came across as different. You know, and that had an impact on, had an impact on my moving up. But I did okay. And then when I took those classes, I improved greatly, and I became a respected member of the team. And people started coming to me for advice. I had when I was at John Hancock, there was a coworker of mine, she was studying to become an actuary. You know what an actuary is? It's very heavily involved with math, and what they do is they're hired by insurance companies to look at mortality studies. How long we're going to live in different situations. It's a series of either 8 or 10 exams, very, very, very hard. So this student, she's just out of college, about within a year. She wants to become an actuary. She's been studying her tail off to pass this, take this exam and pass it. She takes the exam and decides to go out to the bar and have a drink or two, whatever it is, and then comes back into the work office. She took the day off, but she came back into the work office. She's completely wasted, she's drunk. In the workplace, her manager comes up, she sees the manager, and she's talking, she hides underneath my desk. And she has her fist and tapping me on my shoe while I'm talking to her manager about, have you seen this person? Like, all right. She got in trouble for that. But what do I remember from this person? I haven't seen this person in years. What do I remember from this person? I remember that one thing about her. She came into the office drunk and tapping on my shoe. I don't know anything else about her work ethic. I don't remember anything else that she did. She got in trouble. She got reprimanded. She's now a teacher, a school teacher. But she was young and naive. But it had an impact. That was a -1. You go on co-op, they have these outings. Remember, you're on the company clock. They say, hey, we're going to go to a conference. You want to come with us? We're having a team outing for the day. We won't get back till like 10 o'clock at night. There'll be alcohols involved. Just be careful because you're still with the company. Your behavior can have a negative impact. Even though it's a fun time, you can really affect your career. And how do you want people to remember you by? By an outing that you went to where you were not behaving properly, or by the work that you've done, so when you call them up in a year or two, after you leave, you need a reference, they'll say, yeah, okay, I remember the work ethic. All right. So in a few minutes after I talk about workplace diversity, you guys are going to get each groups again. They will split into 2 groups and talk about what do you think is appropriate workplace behavior and what do you think is inappropriate behavior. All right? The next thing we're going to talk about is, anyway, any questions on workplace behavior? Okay? Pretty basic?
Yeah.
Remember, showing up on time is appropriate workplace behavior. And if you don't show up to work on time, you can get fired. Guess what happened? People before in the last semester didn't show up to work on time, they came late, they got fired. It's an easy thing to remember. One of the things I asked you to read was about getting to work on time. You can get fired if you don't show up to work. Just be careful. Some of you came to class late, but I knew that. Why? Because you told me about it. That's appropriate workplace behavior. If you didn't show up to work, I have 90 students. I didn't hear back from 90, those missing students. It goes a long way when you communicate. Workplace diversity. What is it? When I talk about diversity, what do you mean? What do I mean by diversity? Or what do you think is diversity? Huh? A broad spectrum of what? Give me an example of some type of diversity.
People from different countries, different races.
Different countries, different races,
Culture.
different cultures. What else? Different ethnicity. That's what we're talking about. Right? Mostly we're talking about diversity and think of ethnicity, right? What else can be different? What else can be diverse?
Gender.
Gender, yeah. What else?
Designate. Work designate.
I couldn't hear you. Sure. What?
Work positions.
Work positions. Very good. What else?
Age.
Age, yeah, extremely. Anything else?
Political views.
Yeah. Did you hear about those people from the tech team? They know nothing. Tech teams, like those engineers are difficult to work with. The legal team, who likes the legal? They always cause problems. The phone team says, gee, they don't respect us. You know, we're the most important group of the team because if we don't get a call, we're going to get complaints. Different departments can be considered as diverse. Okay? When you're running projects, you just don't want your group because you're going to miss something. One of the things I asked you to read is a longer article from talk about the labor force, the first labor force for the it's from the Department of Labor. And lots of this is like an 8-page article that had lots of charts and pages and statistics. And was just talking about how the labor force is changing over time. You know, a lot of people, like the baby boomers, are growing now, they're getting ready to retire, so you have an aging population. The Caucasian, you know, talk about ethnicity, and Hispanic race is getting much more prevalent. The Caucasian people are getting less according to the labor market. That can have an impact. Gender, male versus female. The more females are getting into STEM research, that can have an impact, positive or negative, less positive or negative. But if you can understand the trends, it's going to help you in your business. Because if you're thinking, where should I have my career? Healthcare might be a great place because you have a lot of people in the aging population. Or if you're then trying to create a new product, a lot of people will be aging, maybe you have to create products to help that type of population. Knowing where the trends are can have an impact on your business. I wish Sukhil was here. Sukhil had actually at Viveco, right? Remember Viveco? They talked about the millennials, the young people versus the older people. And if you come in, you know everything, and the old people are like, these are young kids, they know nothing. Is that true? No, there's a happy medium. The young people have no idea some of the stuff and why we do things the older people did. The older people have no idea that the young people are really know a lot more than they realize, give them credit for. You put them all together, you get a real good team, good dynamic. You'll get further. So just remember that in your workplace, you're going to get, I guarantee, probably, some people when you go on a co-op or even your first career are not liking you. Just because of who you are. You're young. Especially if you're in a factory or people have been there for 30 years. Who's this new young guy coming in? Young woman coming in. They know nothing. How do you behave? Because you need their buy-in at some point. You need to work with them. These are the soft skills you have to learn. You go in there and say, I know everything. Yeah, no. You're going to have... I got a job at State Street. I had lots of jobs at State Street. And there was a woman co-worker who didn't really like me. Can you believe that, not liking me? The reason why is one of her friends that used to work there left and applied back for that same position. They said no. And guess who got it? Me. So I got the position that her friend, but she'll hold her friend again. Right away, she really didn't like me. Right? Or she was hesitant. But when I entered the workplace, this is how you behave in the workplace. I didn't go in there and say, hey, I know everything. I said, how can I help? Tell me what you do. And then you ask, why you do it this way? What can I do? You know, I asked and start. And then she and I became great friends at the workplace. We had a lot of common. But at first, she didn't like it at first because of where I came from. You're going to have that all the time. And then when you get to become an older employee, just remember what it felt like to be a young employee and bring that all, you know, just treat everyone with respect. All right? So this is what we're going to do. 2 groups. I'm going to get some paper. First thing is you're going to provide some behaviors, positive and negative behaviors in the workplace. And the last thing is, how can diversity help you in the workplace? All right? So the first thing is we're going to talk about positive and negative behavior in the workplace. And the second sheet is, how can diversity help you in the workplace? Are we good? Can we work with two teams? This side and that side? I see, I hear some people talking while I'm talking. I see some people playing on the computer while I'm talking. I have no idea who's listening to me. Do we all know what we're going to need to do?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And then, after we do that, we'll do that for maybe 20 minutes. We'll talk about that. We'll go over last minute notes. And it's over. Well, the lecture piece is over. I'm here to help out with any of your questions. All right. Where should I put this thing down? Right here then? And thank you guys for not bringing up the Super Bowl from last weekend.
We lost. It was bad,
It was a good game.
but we lost. After the whole apartment crying. Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. It was that.
I trust you.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to leave for a few minutes. When I come back, I hope you hear talking.
我做的评价，我是好多人旁边有人做的是评价会。这不好吗？走这么没几个人啊！说着就走，再等一会儿啊！不是，就这么一个主任就合适吧？我课，啥也能下课。
Come back from
see over there.
So now I'm the only Chinese.
Workplace diversity, you can do that with cross-functional teams. Gender free work culture. Working with cross-gender. Gender free
Sometimes because you came.
Scare people away? Maybe they switched over there, that's a big move over there.
Let's go.
We need some recruit.
We're going to yeah.
Why is it important?
So, what is
Examples. He has written this. We are together now.
Yes, sir.
Not getting it done, something you're Thank you. There we should get
सुबह क्या सर
Alright, let's see.
One problem can have a mental solution.
Two real applicants.
Solutions.
You're right. Cross-country skiing. All right. Jagdish, 15-kilometer free style. And the other one is Shiva professional.
Yeah. That's it.
Let's take a look at China.
Diversity.
82 compared with diversity.
More ideas to be created. And adaptability.
Diversity in knowledge and
We have an eight. Degree?
You're in the market.
Maybe now he's up here, but
Depends on what you need long term. If you need it tomorrow, yeah. Yeah. Things are on sale.
becomes very
Everything goes back to that. Stock price is average. Big amount
yes, that is a
My friend,
Just listen to this.
excellent. Excel equals spreadsheet involving and not what spreadsheet not more. So it company
Yeah, it's not.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Because the different language will you can write out language. No, that means your company is more active actually because different those thinking this is one of the things maybe the solution that is from language process those things are not so maybe that culture.
You guys are laughing over there. This is not supposed to be fun. Work. How can you work? Huh? You're done? You're laughing? You're having fun? Can that happen?
All companies
Did you do everything? Are you done? You have 10 people, and you've already done 2 questions. Right?
to your own people, of course, also the other customers, the foreign customers. So they look very from German,
They look like, we'll give it a minute.
像小米出来不是新多，是那个满水。
You're going to be in my shoes one day when you get to my age. And you look back and say, boy, when I first entered the market, I was so immature. You don't feel like it, but you look back, I can't believe I did that. Boy, what was it like? You young people.
At your time, do you have this kind of sessions in your colleges?
I wish we did. I wish we had a career development area. They didn't really help out. They posted some jobs. But I wish everything I learned on my own until I got laid off. And they put me into an organization to help me find jobs. And a lot of the stuff they teach here is what they teach. Where I learned a lot from on-the-job training, out of the job training. So a lot of things like the elevator pitch, You know, I used to go each week, there's about 15 of us, or 10 of us, we sat around the table, the first thing we did was we did our elevator pitch. And we talked, I'm going to the boss at exercise. I'm writing it down, trying to figure out, I don't know what to do, and I'm shaking like a leaf, and trying to go over and sit down and try to say something. And you're getting critiqued by everybody. It was nerve-wracking. And they gave you some real good ideas. And then by the time I found the job, you know, I could just do it, I had some notes written down, but I could do it off the top of my head. And I could change it as needed. But that just came with practice. But I wish I had this because I think I would have been a different, I would have approached things differently, I think. The way I was supposed to work, I think I would have done things a lot differently. But I ended up all right. I'm here. Not making a lot of money, but I'm here. You're like, I was getting somebody else. I don't know. But it's funny, right? If I didn't get these things didn't happen, I wouldn't be here, and you guys would have had a different structure, and maybe be more successful or less successful. So it's just funny how things. What was your question? Could I ask you a question? What was your question or comment? I think you're asking a question. All right, in India, you have 2 Olympic athletes. One is participating in the 15-kilometer in cross country. The other is men's single luge. Sled. The Olympics start today. The Winter Olympics, you have 2 people from India. Luge, which you go on the sled backward, like you head down, and cross country ski. All right, you guys ready? Yep. All right, let's talk to me. What do we do about work? What is the type of workplace?
You know, wearing the.
I'm not wearing that.
Yep.
I forgot the first.
No.
That's fine. All right, what do we have for the first question about workplace behavior? What do we have over here? What do you know? I can't read that much. I have bad eyesight. It's too far away. I don't want you to talk. Shh. Okay, go ahead. What is your workplace behavior?
When people from different cultures, different backgrounds come together to work for a common goal. And there's also like when you work with different cross-functional teams.
You talking about behavior or diversity?
Both.
All right. Give me examples of positive or negative workplace behavior. Did you come up with that?
Like when someone is stuck with something, you stay and help them.
Okay. What else? That's great. What else?
With diversity, there are like more ideas.
Let's go. No, I don't want to talk about diversity. I want to talk about workplace positive or negative workplace behavior. What are some examples?
Respect your workmates' religions and culture.
Okay. Okay. Good. What else?
We can take an example of Northeastern, like people from
This
people.
class itself.
Wait. Hold on. Let's talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, so here in university, people from different countries are coming with different ideas, different experiences. I mean, no one is perfect, so.
I'm perfect.
So everyone, like diversity is the one which.
I don't want to talk about diversity. I'm talking about workplace behavior.
Yeah, so the things which we come along with from the different background makes it a positive environment, and it helps others.
Health too.
Yeah.
What else? So workplace. How does it help?
If you are like good at what you're doing and your work is recognized by your seniors or the people who are supposed to give you your promotions or anything, so they can help you with the visa processes like for the immigrants and everything.
What happens if you think you're going to you deserve a promotion, but you don't, but he does, and you're mad? What do?
Continue working and maybe change the way of approach that I work with and like get more out of the team that I work with.
What do you do to him?
Running there.
Nothing? You congratulate me, right? Congratulations, you did a great job. Remember, you got promoted. Good job. Do you think I had a manager once that did not give purposely a person a promotion because he wasn't ready yet? But he's going to give it to him the next time around, but he wanted to know how he would react if he didn't get the promotion. The guy wasn't quite there yet. So he wanted to figure out if somebody else got promoted over him. He wanted to know how he would react. He had to be poorly, guess what? He wouldn't get the promotion next time. He had to continue the way he was doing it, reacted positively, guess what? You get promoted, and guess what? The person got promoted next time. All right, so you guys list these aside. Here's good workplace behavior. Well, what do you have for workplace behavior?
One thing is dressing appropriately,
Oh, nice, yeah, just your appropriate, yeah.
offensive suit up things. Even if you don't suit up, like understanding cultural emotions and not dressing offensively or things like that.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, if you I think people like Islam, they have to pray like 4 or 5 times a day. Sometimes yeah, as long as you have a quiet area, you respect that. The person still has to do the work, right? And then we see that. I used to see somebody praying down in the lobby, off in the lobby in the corner. But he was given the opportunity to do that because he's allowed like 2 breaks a day, whatever, so allowed to do that. What else? Being on time. Great, that's a great. So respecting others, being on time. What else?
Language.
Okay. Be careful with language, right? When I'm talking about the way you speak, because I had a boss that used to always swear, which was okay, but other people would find it maybe not appropriate. Be careful what I like to tell jokes. Be careful when you say jokes. All right? Because it could be offensive. If I tell a joke to you, we're laughing, and she hears it, and she doesn't find it appropriate, she goes to HR, guess who's in trouble? Me. She wasn't part of our conversation. Now I tell a joke, you're laughing, but you might be offended by what I'm saying. You can go to HR. You gotta be careful, all right? Be careful what you say, what you do. People have things you hang up in your office. Calendars, there's the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model calendar, scantily clad women that some people are used to have told somebody used to put it up in their office. That's no longer appropriate anymore. You can't hang that in there. You can't have that. Okay, what else? Show up on time. Watching language.
Offensive means.
Huh?
Offensive means.
Offensive, okay, yeah. Be careful what you
Especially
do.
towards downgrade.
Be careful what you send to. Careful what you send to other people on emails. Whose email account is this? Who owns the emails? The company. They see what you're doing. They can see what you're doing. They can do this. If they can find out the offensive. Let you come. Did you hear what she did on that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe she did that. And he did the same thing. You can't come out around it. Did you hear what that person said the other night? It was terrible. They did that. I probably should have. You can't be careful. What is that? That is called gossiping.
Yeah.
We all love to do it. Don't. You don't gossip because what does it do? It takes away. It just causes energy. Negative emotions, negative energy.
Not be too loud.
Oh my God! You don't.
Not be too loud.
Try not to gossip. It's not appropriate. It's not professional. If you have a problem with a coworker, you try to reserve it. You handle it yourself. You can't. You go to your manager. All right. What happens if there's an issue with working on a case or a client? There's a problem. What do you do? What's the proper workplace behavior? And ethically, what should you do? You're right. Don't hide anything because they're going to find out some way. Don't try to hide it. It's better to be honest. Yeah, we made a mistake. This client's upset. And then you don't go to your manager and say, we have a problem, and then tell the person, the manager, the problem. What's the proper workplace behavior to do? How would you handle that? Boss, we have a problem. This person's upset. We have an unhappy client. This is what I think you should do. You provided a solution to your manager. You just didn't tell the manager you had a problem. You provided a solution. All right? That can send a positive message to your manager that you're thinking and helping out the company. Go in and smile each day. Go to your coworkers. Hey, how are you doing? How was your night? How was your weekend? In the United States, it's like, hey, how you doing? And it's usually, yeah, it's good. We're not really trying to say, to me, your deepest personal thoughts. That's not what we're trying to, it's our way of saying hello. Did you have a good weekend? Yeah, that's great. Now be careful what you do with telling stories. They ask you, you have a good relationship with a person, they say, hey, well, how was your weekend? What happened? And you start talking about stuff way too personal, that's not appropriate. Not in the workplace. Other people can hear things like that. It's supposed to be a professional atmosphere. What you dress has to be professional, well, appropriate for the workplace. All right. If I'm a lifeguard, this is not appropriate. I'm not in a bathing suit, right? But wearing a bathing suit to an office is not appropriate either. No, you have to use common sense. All right, we prep. So go in there, you know, if you get a co-op, we're going to have a special meeting for people in co-op and how to behave yourself. Smile, say hello, ask for assistance or say, offer your help, show up on time, do your work while you work. The issues, you tell your supervisor, you don't hide anything. That's the ethical thing to do. You bring up reports because it's better to find out now than in the past later on. We good? All right. Diversity, workplace diversity. Why? Tell me about that. What did you find out? Why is that good? We talked a little bit about it here. Can you tell me again? Or add something to it? Brings more ideas. Are they right or wrong ideas? Could be both, right?
You get to learn more about the cultures and
What do you mean by culture?
people can move different countries.
Does it have to be about different cultures? It could be legal versus engineering.
Yeah.
This is where legal's coming from. This is where the engineering department's coming
You
from.
would understand what kind of work they do and how you both could be related.
We had a big problem once before. We had, sales and underwriting. Sales is trying to sell something. Underwriting is trying to make sure we minimize the risk. Sales might say, do this, and the sales like, you can't do that, it'll affect money. You think there's conflict all the time between those two groups. But you try to figure out what is the issue, try to understand where they're coming from. Sales team is saying, we had to have increased sales by 10%, we're well behind. I said, well, last time we did this, we lost a lot of money. What can we do? How can we help each other out? Maybe we need a new product, maybe we need a new marketing scheme. If you understand where people are coming from, it's going to go a long way. Anything else with diversity in this group? What?
Gender diversity.
Gender diversity, yeah.
Can bring about a balance in a work environment. Men generally could be more aggressive, women less, so it could be a good thing, bringing that balance to a work environment.
Yep.
No offense to
No, the gender brings in a totally different atmosphere. Ethnicity, there's I forget, there's a company that they try to make charcoal, and the company was losing money, and then that person, new manager came in, and he happened to be Hispanic, and he said, you know what? You should do it this marketing, and market it to the Hispanic community, because they love to cook out, and et cetera, et cetera. And they had a new marketing scheme, guess what happened to this charcoal? Sales went up, because they knew where to market. So that's a different culture, different gender might have a different perspective on things. What else? Age. Experience.
Younger people do fresh ideas, older people have experience. They have different inputs.
You can all learn from each other, right?
Yes.
Remember, I told you I can always learn a thing or two from you, and you can learn a thing. Just because I'm teaching you doesn't mean I don't know everything. Just ask my wife; she knows that. But I can learn a thing or two because I know nothing about engineering. You come up to like big data, is that when you draw a big number? I laugh. I don't know I know a little bit about it, but you're the experts. So learn from the people that have been around, and the people from right around will learn a lot from you. In a good way. Anything else?
Like you said, now that's a different point. Education today was like the educational background, different backgrounds. I can learn, like people learn something from accounting department, somebody can learn something from technical department.
You're gonna have a master's degree in engineering, right? Supposedly, when you get through. And you're gonna go, do you get your hair cut? You get your hair cut? How do you cut your hair? Comb your hair? You go to, you do it yourself, or you go to a salon? All right, those people in the salon probably do not have a master's degree. Are you better than them because of your education?
No.
Right? Are you better? You need to fix your car, right? They probably don't have much more than a high school education, right? But they have so many years. They know how to work cars. I'm all thumbs. I'm not mechanically inclined. Am I better off than them because I have a master's degree and I'm working at the university and they're working in a garage? No, and don't you ever think so. No one's better off than anybody else. I know as a society we say that, but no one's better off than anybody else. We can all learn from each other. Right? It doesn't matter what industry, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your gender, you can always learn something. If you respect somewhere, you're going to go a long, long way. And, you know, if you ever need something, I think they're more than happy to help you out and vice versa. And you want to be a good person, right? You all want to be good, you're trying to survive in this world. That's all you're trying to do. And if you try to pigeonhole it, if you're trying to say you're better off than somebody else because you have more money or you have better education, higher education, even people from Harvard or Yale think they're better off than everybody else because they have a Ivy League education. No. Think about all the stuff you did. You guys came from India, from China, you knew probably nobody over here in the United States, and you're very successful over here from a great perspective. You know, you have somebody from the United States going to Harvard, probably because their parents went there. You probably not have a lot more experience than they do. They just have that name to it. They may think they're better off than everybody else, but they're not. All right? Any questions? Do you guys disagree with anything I said? No? All right. So just be a good person. That's all. People like you. I try to be a good person. I'm not sure if it's successful. Shabik here does not laugh at my jokes. So I'm not sure if it's because I'm a bad person or what, or he's just, maybe you don't know anything. Maybe more sense of humor? Next steps, I'm going to give you a homework assignment tonight, 1 page of this paper. Give it to me. Give it to me in person, hard copy. Okay? Due by next week. Okay? I'll send something out either today or tomorrow with the actual assignment. 1 page, you guys can do a 1 page assignment. You don't have to read anything, it's just about, might be a case there or think about an issue. Can we do that? All right? Feedback discussion in 2 weeks. Announcements, speakers. We have all these speakers coming in. Hopefully you guys can come to them. All right? I know all these people personally. He's my banker, but he knows a lot of networking. I used to work with him at ITTAC, very good information systems, and very good knowledgeable. And this person I've known for like 20 years, very successful at John Hancock. Big success. He and I started on the phones together. And in our past, divergent, we're still friendly. Mock interviews, February 16th. If you haven't signed up, please let me know. Sign up today, or do it, you know, at my. There's a bulletin board by the men's bathroom on the 5th floor data. Do that. Sign up there. I'll send this out. OGS is doing CPT seminars. There's one on March 12th and one on April 20th. If you haven't taken it, take it. Okay? We used to do it in this class, but we don't do it anymore. They'll do it. It's your responsibility to know what OGS requires. Updated office hours. We're going to have our TAs come at least 1 hour a week, different times and different locations. If we need to expand that, we'll do that as well. All right, this is to help you, because I want to make sure you all get co-op by the fall. That's it. Anything else? All right, we're going to be around here to 3:45 to answer any of your questions, to help out with your resume. This is the office hour piece. This is to help with your marketing scheme. If any questions, come see me. Thank you.